Hello and welcome to Be Social. This is Patricia, your host, and today's conversation is about LinkedIn and how graduates who are not very familiar with this platform can make the best use of this tool to build a personal brand and gain visibility in a job hunting context. I have two amazing guests. The first is Guillermo from Colombia. He is a LinkedIn expert, a book writer, and the founder of Aprendamos, a startup company that has trained and mentored more than 35,000 professionals in the creation of a winning LinkedIn strategy. The second guest is Ricardo Jimenez from Venezuela. He is a professional with a lot of experience as well and a LinkedIn user who recently found a job using this tool. Welcome both, and thank you so much for joining me today and being willing to share your knowledge, experiences, and tips with this amazing audience. Guillermo, according to some research I dig into, to date, there are nearly 800 million LinkedIn users in 200 countries and regions around the world. Job search is one of the biggest uses of this social network. In fact, every week, 45 million users use this platform to search for jobs. As a result, 77 job applications are submitted every second, and every minute 4 people are hired as a result of jobs posted on LinkedIn. On top of that, only 25% of the vacancies are published, meaning that there is a big gap where recruiters rely on databases, recommendations, and or LinkedIn. So this is quite daunting for graduates because they are in front of a huge challenge here in a competitive market, but at the same time, there is an opportunity if they use the LinkedIn tool wisely and properly. They all know they need to stand out, get noticed, and resonate with trust in this social media channel. But how to do it in a strategic way is the reason I have you both today, Guillermo and Ricardo, with your experiences. So Guillermo, for graduates, what do you recommend they should start from?
Okay, Patricia, thanks for the invitation. First of all, I'm very happy to be here. It's important to start defining your objective. And if you use the SMART methodology, it's better. You have to develop a strategy to work in your ideal job, maximum 20 companies. And then you said, okay, who will be my boss? Chief marketing officer, for an example. Okay, so you have to define the ideal boss, understanding how you can help them, and then develop your personal brand value proposition. It's very important. Then you have to find the right words to be discovered, understanding that LinkedIn is a powerful search tool. You mentioned before that only 25% of the vacancies are published. So if you don't have keywords in your LinkedIn profile, you will lose 75% of your opportunities. That's all. So find the words. Then it's important to know who are your competitors. So you emulate the ideal boss and make some searches in LinkedIn to find who are your competitors, and you study them. Then you have to develop a winning profile, a profile that talks to the algorithm, to the search tool of LinkedIn, and then that talks to your ideal boss. That when someone finds your profile, they know how you can help them and what is your objective, okay? Then generate content and make a great network. And last but not least, it's important to measure everything to adjust your strategy.
Thanks, Guillermo. Those were very useful tips. Now, how to create a winning profile considering that a visitor spends only 5 seconds deciding if it stays or goes?
LinkedIn is a powerful search tool. So you have to include keywords in all your profile and fill all the sections having your objective in mind. So you have to start with your profile picture because it has to communicate your professionalism, that you are a leader, that you are a good person, and it will be that you are nice to have a work relationship with them. It's very important you have to speak in first person. Then you need to use the highlights. I mean, if you are a student and you have your some research that you did in your university, you can share it in the highlights. Education section and your experience have to include your challenge and all that you did that can help them to know that you know about the topic that they are looking for, okay? Then you have to develop 2 sections that are very important because it's the social proof of your profile, okay? The first section is aptitudes and validations, and have recommendation in your profile and give recommendation in your profile, okay? And then use the other sections like languages, publications, prices that someone give you, etc. So please have in mind and take your time to develop a good profile. Invest in that. It's very important.
According to a book called Content Marketing for PR from Trevor Young, He said that if you want to impact a specific target audience, you need a bit of thought and planning beforehand, which is what we have been talking about. So in this case, future bosses, recruiters, companies, headhunters are the target audience. What would it be a good strategic plan to network with them?
Okay, networking is very important. And first of all, you have to think to give without expecting nothing. Okay, that is the key of the networking. It's very important that it's better quantity than quality of your contacts. Sometimes somewhere the people think that if you have 1 million followers on 30,000 contacts is better. No. Then you have to be empathic with your contacts since the first time. So when you are inviting someone, send them a message why you want to be part of his network. And then you have to be authentic.
You mentioned before about the LinkedIn algorithm. Do we necessarily understand that, or there are just key points that we just need to bear in mind?
Okay, I have some clues that are very important of that. First of all, I told you before, keywords, super important. And then if you develop conversations via comments or via sharing your information, the algorithm will price you. That is the clue. More visualizations of your content, more awareness of your personal brand, new connections, new options for networking, and maybe new options for a new job. I know people who were hired because their content.
Yes, of course, totally agree with you. And in the process of building personal branding, content creation is one of the key elements. And only 1% of LinkedIn users generate content weekly. So we have an opportunity there. Trevor Young also says that PR content tend to focus on building brand visibility, influence, trust, advocacy, and leadership in the marketplace. But what is the strategy behind this combined with the LinkedIn functionality?
Yes, talking about content, is important to have a content strategy, not
Okay.
publish content for publish content with no strategy. That helps you to develop authority, credibility, and trust. But how to do it? It's important to post 3 times a week using the different kinds of content or formats that LinkedIn offers. Okay, they offers videos, images, PDFs, etc. And then you have to measure and adjust your strategy. But please be aware, always have in mind to add value in all of your content.
Well, I'll keep that in mind. Now, a user spends on average 7 minutes each time they visit LinkedIn. What is the appropriate length of any content? Is there any strategy to capture attention? What is the ideal type of content to publish?
Okay, you made a very, very good investigation. Love it. You prepared this podcast very good. So, uh, I'm sorry to answer this, but it depends because you have to try different kinds of content and different length. But I'm gonna give you my case. My sweet spot is between 2,500 characters, more or less. That is, but you have to have in mind to capture the reader attention in the first 3 lines. Okay, it's the most important part of the copy of your content. 3 seconds to capture the attention. Easy content, okay?
Okay, that's another challenge to try. You know, I've been reading LinkedIn lately and I notice it is bombarded with content that has an emotional appeal to gain the audience's empathy and connect. Becky Honeyman, in an article for PR Daily, stated that if you can make someone feel something, you will increase the response rate or engagement level tenfold. When you feel, you pay attention. Some people argue that they don't want to hear feelings or emotions on LinkedIn as they see it as a business platform. So, to what extent can people show or utilize emotions as a strategic approach on LinkedIn to generate responses from recruiters?
We are humans selling to humans. All have vulnerabilities. And it's important if you will write some personal content, please at the end give a lesson to your audience.
Fantastic. Okay, let's say, for example, that I applied all the tips given. How can I measure my improvement on LinkedIn?
Yes, LinkedIn give you 4 KPIs in the free plan. That the first one is who view your profile. Then the results of your content. That is important to measure that and try to adjust your strategy. Search appearance in your profile. So how many times your profile appears with which keywords in what companies and with what kind of people, salespeople, human resources, whatever. So you can use that to adjust your strategy. The final one that I said that is the king of the KPIs in LinkedIn is the social selling index. They give you a qualification from 1 to 100. And if higher, it's better. You will have more opportunity to get opportunities on LinkedIn.
Talking about the premium plan, is that worth it to find a job?
Sometimes somewhere people thinks that if you buy premium, you will find a job. It's not like that. That is a good tool, but first you have to create and develop the strategy and then use one of the premium plans. I used to have the free plan with very good results.
Many thanks for your great tips, Guillermo. They are very useful. Now, moving on to Ricardo. I understand that you recently found a job on LinkedIn, and we would love to hear your winning strategy and recommendations.
Well, yes, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Ricardo Jimenez. I'm the head of renewables for Ensign Global. This is a job that I just found recently over the last 3 months over LinkedIn. Before I got here, I honestly applied to many different opportunities, not only here through LinkedIn, but also through other platforms. But the winner, I could say, was LinkedIn, the one job that I finally found that actually matched the profile that I had set up and the expectations that I have for a new job. And the way this worked, and this is from the practical point of view of how I did it, I did subscribe to the premium. I had tried other ways of applying without subscribing to the premium. But what I found is that it is hard to get access to the recruiter if you're not subscribed to premium, because you will not be able to write directly to him on that particular job post. They may have their name listed on the job post. And if you're not a premium, in order for you to contact them, then you will probably need to invite them first. However, if you have premium and they have their name on the job post, you can click on the name and immediately will refer to that job post and you can write about it. Not only applying directly on LinkedIn, but also enforcing and kind of a reminder to this recruiter that you have just applied for that specific job. And when do you do that? When your qualifications matches as much as possible to the ones the job is actually asking. And you can tell because there's a percentage at the bottom that tells you how much is your profile matching to the qualifications being asked for that particular job. So if you find a job that your qualifications actually have a very strong match, then it's worth to contact the recruiter immediately. And this I tell you from experience. Some time ago, maybe 4 years ago, I was also on the job search, changing between jobs, and I got so frustrated at one point that I myself created a different profile in order to be able to be hired as a recruiter myself. And so I got hired as a recruiter. So whenever you have a premium account, then you will have direct access to the recruiter. So if you apply, you will make sure that your application will stay on top. At that moment, you need to contact the recruiter, and that's where you will have the most chance. And I can tell you that being a recruiter myself, when I was working for this company, the longer you waited, your resume will get the file and move lower to the bottom of the pile.
I love your story, Ricardo, because you take action and you believe in you make a strategy, and the strategy gives you the prize.
No,
So
I
that's very
agree
good.
in everything you said, especially about creating making sure that your profile actually has what you're looking for. That's the first thing. I try to avoid, rewriting your resume on your profile. Don't do that. The simplest, the better, because like Patricia mentioned before, recruiters won't spend more than 5 seconds looking at your resume, at your profile on LinkedIn. So just keep it simple. Recommendations are very good, but most importantly are the keywords. And the keywords are basically your skills. Don't load up 100 different skills, because then your match to the qualifications of a specific job will not match the same, because you have 100 and they're only asking 10. So the most that you can match is 10%. So just write the skills that you actually have and that you are looking people to hire you for. And as soon as you get a one job post where your skills have a very strong match, it's a combination of things that happen at the same time. So the posting cannot be there for maybe 2 weeks. By that time, most likely the recruiter has already someone in mind. If it has 200, 300 people who have applied, and all of these you can tell on the post. So if you find a post that maybe it's only 3 days, but already 300 people have applied, forget about it.
Well, I can only say thank you so much. You both were amazing today. Thanks also to the audience, and stay tuned for my next Be Social episode.